My entire game was different playing the second time. First time I had an alliance I was pretty sure of, felt pretty confident, felt pretty strong the first game. This game, 6 days in, my alliance is gone. My confidence was a little beat up, and my place in the tribe was completely different than the first time I played the game. I was struggling a little bit more. I didn't feel like I was coming from my heart as much, and showed. My reputation from Vanuatu was being a strong female, not man hater, but woman supporter. And people knew that I was faithful to my alliance, but they also knew that I was tough. And coming into this game, that's all they had to go on. They didn't really know me, really didn't know who I was. The only person that knew me out there was Eliza, and her being a scared player, it didn't help me a lot in that sense. So I think they just saw me as the Strong Girls Alliance girl. I definitely wasn't trying to say, oh, I'm not that person in the past game that you saw. I am that person. I think this go-round, I was a lot more sensitive. I was a lot more vulnerable. I was a lot more scared. And that really came across to the other players, and that's what really hindered me in this game. That's what really hurt me playing the second time around. I think the opportunity of just being able to come out here, be in a magical place with people you don't know, experience a microcosm of what life really is, and be able to live it out with nothing. Like, really see how you interact with people in life, different people that you wouldn't normally hang out with. Like, what do you do? How do you act? How do you respond? How do you support each other? How do you, like, it's so interesting to me. It's so interesting how people act under pressure, under boredom, under circumstances that you don't really have in a day-to-day basis. In a day-to-day basis, you put yourself where you're comfortable. You surround yourself with people you know you're okay with. And in this game, there aren't any other choices except for the cards you're dealt. And then what do you do with those cards? To me, that's so interesting. And to be able to do it twice, I feel really blessed that I was even asked to come back a second time. And there's no way I would have said no to this opportunity. I see it as an opportunity. I think being put on an island with nothing but a machete, a pot, and 10 other people, you really are standing there naked going, this is all I've got. Will you accept me? Will you throw me to the side? Will you, work with me? Will you make fun of me? It really brings you to the guttural, just bare essentials of who you are. And I really discovered that this time around, I'm sensitive. This game, I was so much more sensitive than I was the first game. I was so sure, I was so strong. I have an injury in this game. I'm not used to being a weak link in a tribe, being weak in the challenges. I'm used to being a powerhouse, and I can take on any guy, any girl, I can carry my own weight. And this time I was relying on other people. And for me, that was a little scary. Watching people interact, you become so sensitive to looks people give to each other, to who gets the fish first, to who sleeps where in the shelter, to who gets to go first to a challenge, who's walking first in line. I became ultra sensitive to what was going on around me. And I was so used to being in charge and sure and confident of where I stood in a tribe that this was a completely different place for me to be. I made it more than halfway through. I was feeling good. I just had a great talk with the girls. I was feeling really, really good. And I looked at Ozzy and I knew my time was done. And it's like you're hanging on to the edge of a cliff. And you're like, if I get my big toe up there, I can pull myself back up. And I'm not going to fall into that pit. And I'm not going to die. And it's just like your toes getting up there, and your toe. And then Ozzy just comes and looks over, puts one foot on your fingers, and you're gone. And that's the best way I can describe it, because that's all it took was Ozzy looking over at the girls going, nope. I was gone.